Hey, welcome back to the Smith Zero YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. Again, guys, I did get a new lens, so hopefully it looks good. We'll see. Do a couple videos with it. But today, I'm going to be showing you guys the overview of our #1 project of the year, which is our Mark 1 Rabbit. So I'll begin with the story of this car. We've had this car for about 5 years, almost 5 years. My wife and I actually bought this the day after our wedding, and we wanted a 4-door because we knew we were going to have kids, knew we'd want to take them for a ride. You know, Mark 1s aren't crazy safe, but you can putt around town with them. But yeah, so we always knew we wanted one, and up here in the Northeast, it's extremely hard to find one that's good and not rusty. This one came up, and this was a guy who was in the service, and he was actually in the service down in Texas. You kind of notice how it's got this really nice patina and fade coming off of it. This being a Texas car, it's basically as rust free as you could get. We went there, we gave the man the money, we drove it home. It was a carbureted 1.5, I think, and we originally thought about putting a diesel in it, but doing a diesel anything gets pretty expensive. And then we got the idea of, well, we have VRs laying around, let's put a VR in it. So we got all the stuff, we put the VR in it, and then we decided, why not put turbo on it? So yeah, it just kept spiraling out of control, and it's been one of those cars where you see them on the jack stands for many years, but we're finally getting to it. This year's our 5th wedding anniversary. My wife really wants to, she didn't even give me a deadline of making it drive. She says she wants it to run. Now, it sounds simple, but we're not just doing a regular swap. I want this thing to be as technologically advanced as I can possibly make it. So with that being said, we did get a Fuel-Tech 550. Let's see, it's right up here. And what that's gonna do is allow us to run sequential injection, ignition, drive-by-wire, put all sorts of fail-safes in it. It's also going to allow us to have a digital dash in the car. Now, like I said, everything with this car keeps spiraling and spiraling. Originally, I was going to have a micro squirt, and then we went to a ECU master and a race pack, and then I sold that stuff. After we sold that, that's when we got the 550 Fuel-Tech. Let me give you the basic rundown of it. So this is a 12 valve out of a Mark IV. So it's got less miles on it than most of your normal 12 valves, and I had it bored out. This is a completely built motor. I built this 3 years ago, maybe. Head studs, rod bolts, you know, main studs. It's got 276 cams, titanium retainers, springs, and then it has Wiseco 9-to-1 pistons, I believe, or 9.5-to-1. And our plans with this is to try to run it on ethanol, but it'll probably just be pump gas, but we'll see. And then to make it fun, I decided I wanted to do individual coil packs. So I have R32 coil packs, because I think this is the cleanest way. You know, you can have a 90-degree connector right there and run everything down and around, and I think that'll be nice and clean. We decided we got an R32 throttle body. Probably wasn't smart because they're insanely expensive, but that's what we got. The trans, I rebuilt it years ago. This is a Pelican. I have a Pelican diff in it. I made my own short shifter both ways, side to side and front to back. This is also going to be a cable driven car, a cable shifted. So you'll see in here, I do have an O2J box that I have modified. It's got all new bushings and stuff, but by modifying it, when it was out and apart, I just welded an extension up, so it's much easier to hold on to in a Mark 1, which is something you should do. Otherwise, it's about 3 inches down, and it's not very comfortable. So also on the end of that, I did do a hydraulic clutch, which this has given us issues right off the bat. We bought a swap kit that was not good, and just keep having to refix things. And then I bought a lot of swap parts, like the hydraulic slave, and even that was bad, and I had to have revisions. And you tell the people what your goals are, and they tell you everything's fine and dandy, and then you put the parts in the car and they say, you can't be using that hydraulic clutch with a stage 5 clutch, which is excellent, because what it was doing was flexing the entire dash. So underneath of this dash, this is why everything's bare, had all this out, and I have reinforced absolutely everything down there. So there's no more flex in the firewall. I did get a drive-by-wire pedal adapter from one of the bigger companies, and it was garbage too. Had to reinforce that. I don't understand how a drive-by-wire pedal adapter should be able to flex the firewall. It's just junk. And this is a Honda Civic K-Series swap radiator that I'm hoping that'll be enough. It's a dual or a triple pass, and it's like 3 inches thick or 3.5 inches thick. It's from Koyorad. I bought this used off a dude because you can see I don't have any room at all. I'm gonna have to cut and modify this intake even more to fit this. But that's what you gotta do when you wanna do things like this, I guess. I have everything off the front end is from a Mark III. I'll show you guys that one of these days, but I'm gonna do it on the truck as well, the Caddy. And then I'll actually show you guys how all that's done. I do have the extended strut top risers, so you effectively get a body drop. Basically, it lowers the car 2 inches without having to put more preload on your springs, so you get a better ride. So what else is gonna be up here is gonna be an air to water setup. I bought a used air to water kit. Hopefully it works out all right. We'll see. We're only wanting to make like 500 to 600 horsepower. I did just have to redo the spare tire well on this. You guys should see a video on that, or have seen a video on that. But right now, let's put it up in the air, take a look underneath the car. Starting in the back, you can see that I did do a new spare tire well on this. It wasn't rusty, it was just something that I destroyed in its life. So yeah, so that's nice and new. I have Mark III rear spindles, or hubs, stub axles, whatever you want to call it, with Mark IV calipers. Just everything's new. All the lines going all the way down, all that's new. The gas tank's actually new. I had a thought I was going to put a Mark IV gas tank or gas fuel pump in it, but I don't really see the room for it. My solution for everything fuel line related was I did do some Vibrant Teflon hoses for E85 compatibility. Dash 10, and it's coming around, coming up. So unfortunately, you don't want to have this ever really be too low on gas, but what can you do? And then I have the 2 lines coming over to here. I have a check valve in here, so it'll always stay right here, nice and full. And then here's the feed. It goes then to a dash 8 from a dash 10 inlet to the pump. It'll be a dash 8 feed. So I have a dash 8 feed and a dash 6 return. It's coming all the way up. It's P-clamped, zip tied up. And then I have 2 90 bulkheads that I'm just gonna finish running the rest of the stuff up. So that's most of the fuel system, but you'll see I have this crazy bracket that goes right here. And here's what that bracket looks like. I made it a little while ago. It's a very nice piece. I was trying to save money by using things that I had laying around, and I got this big bastard fuel pump. This is an Aeromotive 1000. So just as you would think, this is good for 1,000 horsepower, which again, we'll probably never make, but that's what I made everything off of on this car. Filter, inlet and outlet of the of the fuel pump. So all that'll be nice and safe. And it lives right up in this area. I'll show you guys that another day. I just don't have it bolted on because I just spent all the time making everything down here with the spare tire well. So yeah, that I'll put in another day. So then we go up a little further. We have the O2J shifter rebuilt in there. Some of the heat shield that'll probably get thrown out, I guess. And then I did put a sway bar on this. See all the nice new braking components, but I think I'm gonna change the front brakes, but that'll be for down the road yet again. You can see the drill marks for balancing the engine. I had everything balanced in this rotating assembly, so theoretically we should be good to go. Yeah, you can just see, unfortunately, this engine swap kit is just not great, and I've had to remake some parts. I'm probably gonna remake another part. I really need to redo this trans mount. And then what I really don't like about the kit is how low the engine sits. Look at that. That's insane. This still, it has a lot of way to go. And I want to show you guys all the parts we have for it though. We have lots of stuff here for it. We have the fuel tech up here. I have my twin 38mm wastegates. They're genuine tiles. And then I have this turbo manifold that I've built probably a year or two ago when we were still at the old house. We have the fuel injectors, 1000cc. We have a brand new rebuild kit for the Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator. I just have a lot of stuff up here, but it's just gonna be time. When do I have it to rebuild this whole car? Hopefully you guys are gonna be as excited as us to start diving into this. This, like I said, has been years in the making, and we have a lot to do. So with that, guys, I'm gonna end it here. If you guys like the channel, like, comment, and subscribe. If you like what you saw today, again, like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching. We're really close to that 1,000 subscribers, so hopefully we get there.